Hello there everybody, this is Graham, also known as the Collector 75. Give me 1 second, my lights have decided to fall down on me. That's always good. What a start to the video that is. There we go, that'll do. Yeah, so this is Graham, also known as the Collector 75, and welcome to another Transformers Robotmasters review. And this is probably one of my favourite figures from the Robotmasters line. This is Reverse Convoy, also known as Rebirth Megatron. I like this figure, I just love it. It is a remold of the combat hero Optimus Prime. Yeah, someone did note to me the other day actually, it's very interesting, is that combat hero Optimus Prime is never actually referred to in any product catalogues as combat hero. It's just called Optimus Prime or Hero Optimus Prime, not combat. It's quite weird where he got the combat hero from. I think he said it was from the unreleased redeco that they were going to do. That was called Combat Hero. So, but then again, I think everyone just calls him Combat Hero because everyone it's like to differentiate the character. But there we go. So anyway, yeah. So I'm digressing a bit there. So this is a redeco, remold of Combat Hero Optimus Prime, Combat Hero Megatron, in fact, not Optimus Prime. Yeah, and so we are going to see. It has a very interesting storyline. This figure. When it first started, the Robotmasters line, this is one of the last figures to come out because this is Robotmasters number 24. Had a very interesting line because we got the slightly weird downscaled MP Optimus Prime in, like a deluxe sized thing. And I was always hoping that they were going to do like a weird deluxe sized G1 Megatron, but they never did. They gave us Beast Megatron, and that was about it, really. Until the end when we got this guy, which is Rebirth Megatron. Now, I can't remember the exact storyline behind it, but it's something like, I don't know, they get sucked into a black hole or something, Optimus Prime and Megatron, and Optimus Prime survives or something like that, and he comes back looking like this, and then he has blackouts or something, and he turns into Rebirth Megatron. It's kind of cool. It's like Rebirth Megatron's inside him fighting to get out or something like that. It's just so cool. I love it. I love it because on the back we can have a good picture of Rebirth Megatron there. Love it. Right, so anyway, so let's get this guy out. Right, so here he is in his tank mode. And as you can see, it's a very good tank mode. Now, it does share a lot of similarities, obviously, with the Combat Hero Megatron mould, in the fact that the tank turret is not going to turn. It's not going to do too much at all, to be honest. You can get a little missile to go in there, and it will fire the missile out. I can't remember how it's actually... it feels like it's on a spring, which is kind of cool. So maybe you push it in, and it just fires out. I can't remember exactly. But suffice it to say, it fires it out. And it's a nice blue tank. Now, it hasn't got a lot of detail in this mode. It hasn't got no faction symbols. That's because, obviously, it's a bit like the old Double Spy, is that Optimus Prime can use this mode, and obviously Megatron can use this mode. And it didn't have a way of swapping the insignias around. It would have been nice if they'd remolded a panel or something that you could turn around. That would have been cool. But there we go. But that is its tank mode. Now, I don't usually show this off, but most of the Japanese figures used to come with cards, but these ones were printed on the back. And then we got one for Optimus Prime, and then one for Megatron. And that's kind of cool. I like that. Using exactly the same picture, just with new, different heads. And that's cool. Right, so this is his tank mode. Now, it's not, like I said, it's a fairly usual tank mode. You can rotate this bit up, giving him some extra rockets. Maybe we could use this for Megatron and then fold it down for Optimus Prime, who knows. But either way, you're not getting too much else out of it. It doesn't really rotate upwards like the old one used to, but there we go. And that is it. It's a very functional little tank, and it's quite cool. Right, so now then, to transform it, let's just take this weapon off. Rotate these arms out. Do they actually move? No, there we go. So they're going to come down. Oh, I'm out of shot there. I can bring those down, rotate these. Now, these forearms are very, very loose. It could be mold degradation. It could be a lot of different factors in that. But we are going to bring these legs out. These legs have always been weird. They never really tab into anything. But they do hold in place particularly well. And then we bring this whole body section down and bring his legs out. Like so. Now then, I'm just going to zoom out just a tiny bit. And then we're here. Now he has the same function here. We just rotate that to the side and then bring Optimus Prime's head out. And this is him in his robot mode. Now, again, he doesn't have any heel spurs, so getting this guy to stand can be problematic in some poses, but he's designed to be super posable. Unfortunately, you're lucky to get a pose out of him without him wanting to fall over, which is a shame. But like I said in one of my other Generation 2 reviews, it was an experimental time. They were really trying to bring these guys up to date. And you can hold this weapon. It looks a bit weird, like that. I suppose it's alright, but there we go. But, you know. But the thing we want to see is that head sculpt. That is a great head sculpt. Very menacing Optimus Prime there with nice red eyes in there. Very reminiscent of his Power Master Prime head. That is kind of cool. Now, obviously, like I said, I'm not quite sure exactly the storyline about why they inhabit the same body, but they do. And so if, let's pretend he was having one of his moments, he would just flip his head away and then from around the corner. Now, they did a good job of hiding the Megatron's head around there. You think Optimus Prime might have noticed, but there we go. And so then we just really rotate this around, like so. Stop that. As it comes out, let's rotate it now. And then we've got Rebirth Megatron. And there's his head sculpt. Now, it's actually not too bad. He's got one of those grimacing faces on him there, and it looks all right. Now, he does have the tiniest, if it's going to zoom in on it, just in there. It's hard to get it to zoom in, but just in front of his face, he has the tiniest Decepticon insignia. And there we have Rebirth Megatron. It's not too bad. There is a knockoff for this guy, mainly with the head just tucked there around the back, I think. I can't remember it. I do have one, not a very good one, but I was going to use it for something else. And it's all right as Megatron figures go. It's just an oddity, and that's why I love this figure. Again, he doesn't stand up particularly well, but there is Rebirth Megatron. And it's quite a good figure. I like it. I do like it. It shows its age, unfortunately, this figure, by having no heel spurs and stuff like that. And you know, his articulation is great, but it was great for the time. But obviously, these days, these would have been on ball joints and stuff like that. So with the arms, probably they would have had a bit more something else in. Well, a few years ago they would have. Who knows about these days? But it's still a good figure. Now let's see how he scales with some other figures. So let me just rotate my camera up ever so slightly. There we go. Now these aren't exactly Robotmastery figures, but they're figures that I want to go with the Robotmasters line. This is Soundwave. This is that Hot Soldiers Soundwave. I think that's not too bad because he is one of the larger figures out of this line. Because obviously the original Convoy was pretty much Soundwave size there. So he's not too bad because he's supposed to be a large figure. Then I'm going to bring in my Galvatron or Galvontron, whatever his name is. And again, he scales pretty well with Soundwave there. And he's not too bad at all with Megatron over there. And then we're going to bring in one of the best figures I actually got for £11. Shipped from Japan or China or wherever it was. And this is whoever he is. Everybody knows who he is, but I can never remember his name. But it's Ultra Magnus, obviously. But it's some weird knockoff of him that some third party made. But it is a fantastic figure. It is great, especially this robot. It's probably a good deluxe sized figure. And it's great. It's probably one of the best Ultra Magnuses I've actually seen, apart from the Masterpiece one. It's brilliant. I love it. And it scales remarkably well. Both with Megatron there, he's supposed to be a big figure, and it scales remarkably well with Galvatron. I'd prefer Galvatron just a bit bigger to him, or him just a tiny bit smaller, but he just scales so well. And they're going to fit right in with my Robotmasters line, because they never made these guys with Robotmasters, so there we go. Well, that's where these guys are going. Right, okay, so this has been Graham, the Collector 75, with Rebirth Megatron and Reverse Convoy and a few other figures. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and feel free to comment, and you've got a little notification bell. And of course, if you want to support my channel, you can using the little coffee link to the side. Right, I shall see you all next time. Bye for now.